There we are, we're live now. I'm gonna eat some lunch. Welcome, everyone. I'm gonna eat my lunch. Here, actually, I'm gonna have a banana. I ate one of my sandwiches already. It's banana time. This one feels like a little bit premature on the ripetyness. Be cutting pictures out of this and making emotes and shit. Alright? So today, I have things to talk about. I wasn't here yesterday. I'm back at the house again. I enjoy eating at the house for my lunch because it's cozy and nice and temperature controlled and stuff, and I got my comfy chair. So I was kind of in the neighborhood and decided to swing back by and use the facilities and have a warm, cozy lunch with y'all. But you can't talk with your mouth full. Okay, we all know that. So today, anyways, the other day we were talking at the end of the day about music and how kick-ass it is and how it just is this magical thing that can make you do things. It kind of takes control of your body almost and your mind, and you kind of just start dancing if you let it. You can easily resist that or feel awkward and not feel comfortable doing it, which I don't know if everybody experienced. I definitely did. Not comfortable dancing in public when I was young. Just didn't feel comfortable, but I was, as a matter of fact, psychedelics I attribute to helping me be comfortable to do those kinds of things in front of who gives a shit who, because it just did, whatever. And that was way a long time ago. I'm a million years old, so that was like a couple 100,000 years ago. But music is magical, man. It totally is one of the undeniable truths. I've added it to the list because it exists worldwide. You know, you don't even need instruments to do it. Like anything can be an instrument, I guess, like a rock. Two rocks, or you know what I mean? They just have to be objects that make noise, or something that makes noise, and you just change the rhythm of it and add other noises on top of it, and then it becomes this dimensional thing that has volume almost in like a mass type of volume. And what that interesting thing about that is it feels like, I don't know if there's a definition to the fourth dimension, because we have three dimensions. Height, we've got what is it? Height, width, and depth or something? Height, width, depth to make a cube. And so the fourth dimension, like what the fuck is that? That makes, things three-dimensional. They have a front, a back, and sides. Okay, they're not just flat, like a piece of paper where you just draw a square and it's got a top, bottom, right, left, whatever. It only has up, down, sides. It doesn't have a front and a back, necessarily, unless you include the thickness of the paper and you get all micro on it. But there's people talk about the fourth dimension, and then your brain kind of goes, what the fuck is the fourth dimension? How does that fit in there? There's a cube, right? It's got height, it's got width, it's got depth, it's got the three things, and then that makes a shape, and then you box it in, it has mass. So where's the fourth dimension come from? And it feels like music might be that fourth dimension, or at least a portion of it, because when you get into, if you allow the music to just capture you, and you, in the last live stream, I was talking about this experience I had listening to this magical piece by Bach. It's called the Brandenburg Concerto Number 3. one of my favorite pieces of all time. I think God himself wrote that. All the Brandenburg concertos are bad as fuck. Listen to them all. But number three is my favorite. Anyways, I was listening to this piece of music and just totally let it take me over, and I just fell into this music, this piece, and just enjoyed it to my abilities maximum. Like, tried to experience that music as powerfully as I could and let it just take over. Um, Music being fourth dimension kind of makes sense. Dude, it fucking made sense to me when I was doing that, and when I reflect on it as I'm talking it out with you guys today, actually. And, over since the last time I talked, I think in my head, there's a few of us in there. But it feels, oh, okay. Another attribution to this thought of being a fourth dimension. My brother is a musician and he composes music and or makes music. He's in the process right now of making music, and then he sends me the piece that he's working on and has me give my opinion on it, and I'll listen to it. And when I listen to it, I really try to get into the music and feel what I'm enjoying about it and stuff. And what happens is it becomes this dimensional thing where there's a front, a back, an up, a down. There's that sound is behind everything else, and this other one feels like it's in front. And sometimes they blend perfectly, and other times they're cross-haired. There's a dimensional feature to music. And when you're dancing and feeling that, you're in this dimensional place that includes the three dimensions, but it's also something else that's in your mind. It's like not physical. It's something that isn't physical. It's just, but it's there and it's dimensional. It's fucking crazy magical shit, dude. And it kind of unlocks with that key of music if you let it. And I think the box that it opens, or the door that it opens, potentially can be opened wider and wider, or you can go further and further inside the room there, or in the box, or whatever. The further you let it take you there. And maybe, that's something. I actually use it as a form of entering meditation. Yeah, I know. Music is a completely complex. One of the viewers here is saying music is a complex. Let me word it properly. How did I get that to go away? What did I do? Okay, music is a complex subject in a way. Yeah, it is. It's a complex subject for sure because its complexities are huge. If you listen to classical music, such as the one I just talked about, Bach Brandenburg Concerto number 3, dude, if you have a good set of headphones and you really let just feel the music, become the music, just envelop, let it take you over. The little nuances and the complexity of the sound is insane. That's the beauty of it to me. That's the massage of it. That's why it feels like it's licking my brain. That's why it's this thing. And then once you learn the song and you already can predict those things, it's like riding a wave, man. You're fucking skateboarding this thing or something like that. It's beautiful. It has a similar thing called flow in skateboarding, which is a predictive feeling of what you are doing and gonna have to do next, and after that to continue riding this bumpy ass curvy terrain that's a pool or something. Not everyone has flow, and if you don't have flow, you're done. You're gonna eat shit every time you drop in. You gotta have it. It's predictive motion, body. Fucking your mind actually does it before you get there. So that's a fucking dimension too. Flow. Maybe that's the dimension that we're feeling. Dude, I might have just fucking named the fourth dimension. It's called flow. Holy shit, dude. When you're dancing, you're flowing through this fucking thing. When I'm hearing it and I'm trying to put myself in it, it's flowing in all these different portions of the dimension. When you're riding a skateboard and you're having predictive mental, it's almost like your ghost is in front of you doing the moves for you before you get there. That's flow. Dude. Fucking just blew my own mind and shit. I'm not even kidding. That's pretty deep shit right there. Let me wipe it off on my feet. But I think it's good stuff. It's like rainbow unicorn shit I stepped on. Damn, that's deep, dude. I think so. Or maybe I'm just totally fucking stupid, but it feels like that makes a lot of sense. The fourth dimension is flow. It's in music. It's in sports. Like skateboarding is what I'm familiar with, and it requires flow for sure. Requires it. It's not like, oh, you can use it sometimes. Bullshit. You can use it sometimes and fall when you don't use it. So you need it. And I'm sure, like football, baseball, swimming, everything has that predictive little ghost or whatever it is in front of you that your mind is like already there. It's there before you get there because you have to do it that way or you're gonna fucking run right into the wall. That's fucking crazy shit, dude. Fuck. I don't know, man. That feels totally right or something. Maybe I'm high as fuck. Man, I am. But still, sometimes things come to you like that. I don't know, man. I'm feeling that. Fourth dimension is flow. Bananas are good. Apple a day? True. Banana a day? Also. Orange? Do it. This shit's bomb, dude. Look. Okay, that's next. I actually got two. Grapefruit that time. Pink grapefruits. Don't know why they're better. And then you know I got my PB&J. So that's the healthy lunch that we're having. The healthy conversation is fucking amazing. We just figured out the fourth dimension. It's called flow. It's something that maybe not everybody has access to the fourth dimension, dude. Because if you don't do those things, maybe there's other stuff that takes flow that I'm not thinking about. But if you haven't, oh, musicians, dude, that takes flow too. They're fucking like if somebody playing a violin or a guitar, you even do air guitar because you're feeling that flow. That's part of like dancing and shit, dude. You think you're playing that shit. You ain't making any sound. Your brain thinks it is, though. It can feel it, right? I think flow is something more special the more I think about it, but I'm not sure that everybody has access to it. Maybe it's a privilege or something to be able to access flow. I feel privileged when I'm using it, or I don't know about privilege, but I feel blessed or something. Feel like I'm enjoying it, right? This thing, whatever the fuck it is. It's a huge portion of skateboarding, and skateboarding is like, to me, that shit's fucking important. That's fucking important. Huge portion of what I am is skateboarding. To this day, I still try to do it. It's fucking so awesome. And it includes flow, and focus is another thing I talked about the other day that's super important. Focus, everything that includes focus ends up being good for you. If you focus on something, you end up getting a benefit because you learned something, you got better at something, you strengthened something, you enhanced something, you wide open something, you know, everything, dude. Sports require focus. Yoga, focus. Everything. We already talked about this. But I think flow might be some kind of next level of focus or something. Maybe it's stage 2. Focus, stage 2. Huh. That's interesting, dude. And I really love flow. Flow is an undeniable truth, dude. Boom, add that shit to the fucking list. There's so many of these undeniable truths, it's insane. So many things that are like, you can't deny that shit. Flow's there. If you don't use it, you can't fucking ride a skateboard. You can't do any of these things. Maybe even writing. Dude, writing has flow. And we each have our unique signature of flow because you can kind of, there's people out there, I think, that are specialists in identifying you based on how you write. So it's almost like a fingerprint, like your flow print. Holy fucking shit, dude. This is so, dude, I might be some total stupid stoner hippie, but this feels like so ultra mega, like I'm recognizing something that's right in front of our face, super simple, or not in the form of easy, but it's there. I don't have to fucking make the shit up, but it feels like magic. Dick, dude, this is so fucking crazy, dude, to me. My mind blows easy, alright? Little fucking firecracker. Boom! That shit just blew. Damn, I have something else to talk about, but I feel like I'm not done talking about flow and how I feel like it's so damn important. And I just kind of noticed, because the writing thing, it's just like that. It's flow. You know where your hand's gonna go, just even if it's just a split second before it happens. You know where it is. You can even write without looking. It's more difficult, but you can do it. And then you look back like, damn, I write kind of sloppy, or I write pretty good without looking. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's insane. Typing, same thing. You're reading it. Your fingers know where they're gonna go. Maybe that's more like reflex or something. Skateboarding is more. The flow is further ahead. You have to go more than a split second ahead. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. You'll fall, and there's the consequence to not having flow in skateboarding is pain, injury, possible death. The consequence for not riding properly is like an eraser. Fucking damn it, I erased it. Or back. I guess with typing you just back up. But I'm feeling like flow has just become concrete, undeniable truth to the existence of us. That's unfucking deniable, dude. My mind just exploded and it feels so good. It's all over the camp. Just kidding. So the other thing have been tossing around in my brain is contradictory to another video made, a whole video about, like, almost an hour long video, and this totally contradicts it. Maybe not totally, but turns it to the side a little bit. Made a 30-second video that said the only path to world peace is doing something, and it tells you how to have world peace in 30 seconds. But what I'm about to say disqualifies that, because world peace is not possible. World peace is the wrong goal. World peace is us shooting in the wrong direction for success, so we'll never get there because it's not over there. What the fuck do I mean by that? What's the answer? World peace is wrong because it places responsibility of peace on the world being peaceful for you. That's never gonna happen. What we need and what is possible is a world filled with people who are at peace with themselves. Because when you're at peace, you're peaceful. When you're at peace, you have happiness. When you're at peace and you're next to someone at peace and they are too, the world's at peace. Okay. It says, one of our viewers here says, everyone has a different flow that might contradict someone else's. So I don't know. Okay, so you're saying about it being your signature flow or something like that. But everyone has a different flow that might contradict someone else's. But I don't know that it would cancel it out, like a fingerprint. If you have a fingerprint, it's different. So my flow or my fingerprint is different. So I don't know how that would contradict everyone else's. Might contradict someone else's flow. I'm not sure I'm picking up what you're putting down. Oh, and world peace? Everyone has a different flow. That might contradict with someone else's, so I don't know about the world peace thing. Gotcha. Blew me up. I got you. Okay, so let me think about that. So what you're saying is that the world filled with people at peace might not work either because my peace might contradict your peace, and then we're like, fuck you and your peace. You're interrupting mine, right? So I'll comment on that based on my understanding of my own piece. Okay, good. I understood. Thank you. He said yes, or he said yeah. So I have deciphered what his point. And so what I would respond to that with is my only way I can respond to it, which would be my personal perspective on my peace and how it works within me, because I feel like I have peace. The world, I'm not putting the world responsible. The world does what it's going to do no matter what. It's not going to listen to me. Doesn't give a flying fuck what I do. Doesn't even know I'm doing this. Okay? Only people watching know this is happening. And so my peace is my responsibility. It goes with me everywhere I go. So if I'm always at peace, regardless of what the world is doing around me, as long as they're not shooting me with a gun or harming things that are close to me, which I'll touch on in a second because potentially that is somebody else's peace, but I'll kind of get to why I think that wouldn't happen. But from my standpoint of my peace, I am not, as long as other people aren't doing harm that's physical or, let's say, influential in a way that I'm not comfortable with for my family members or something. Like, don't be coming over here telling my children that they should smoke crack because you think it's a good idea, right? Fuck you, that's interrupting my peace. Something like that. Or whatever it is. Something, a variant of that. So those are things that potentially could happen and we wouldn't want them to. Nobody wants that to happen. Regardless of how peaceful you feel, you don't want someone trying to challenge that peace, right? We don't want that. When you're at peace, from my standpoint, I'm not really interested in disrupting anybody else's. That's not a part of my peace. Peace doesn't, in my version of it, does not include or exclude anybody. It's with or without you. And so, in that sense, what you're doing doesn't bother me as long as it's not fucking hitting me in the face or something. Or something that would be from a commonality standpoint. And the reason I don't think that would happen if everyone was at peace with themselves is because I think those things happen because we're not at peace with ourselves and we're surrounded by people who aren't either. That's why those things that are ugly or whatever that would disrupt your peace and feel like the flow is different, because we're not in that. We don't have people. We don't live in a world filled with people at peace, I don't think. And so from my standpoint of what I feel like my peace is, I wouldn't do anything to disrupt somebody else's peace. Having peace, from my understanding or my feeling of it, includes other people having their own version of their peace, so long as it's not exploding somebody else or something. And the reason I don't think people would do those exploding things, I just said because I think we're not filled in a world filled with peace. But I also believe that when we start, we are peaceful. We are pure goodness, what I call it. We are whatever, if there's a God, still fresh from, without taint of the confused people who are not at peace, trying to convince other people that they are at peace, or what peace is, or what's good, bad, or whatever those people are focusing on, instead of practicing the peace. And so I actually have an equation or whatever for what I believe peace is. And when I say peace, peace is mine. You have your peace, I have my peace. Peace is my responsibility. Peace is something I am allowing to happen or not allowing to happen within me. Somebody can throw a rock at me. I can't stop them from throwing the rock. Didn't know they were going to throw it. There's nothing I can do to avoid it. Boosh, hits me in the fucking face. And I'm going to react how I react. That is going to do something that will cause somebody else to react, which will back react on me. And that's going to have me have a feeling. And so, based on my experience in life, I know that ahead of time and act from the standpoint of seeing those dominoes happen in the way they could, so that my peace won't be disrupted. Typically, that involves not having a cow because the dude actually didn't mean to do it or whatever. And if he did, beat his ass. People sometimes need that shit. So that's where we live. It's not what would happen in a peaceful world. If that guy was at peace, he would have come to me and said, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't, that was a fucking accident. I stepped on this board, the fucking rock went flying, hit you in the face. Are you okay? But if he's like, fuck you, dick, that's my peace, I'll beat him up. Because he's not at peace, in my opinion. He's not a peaceful person. Peace doesn't want to disrupt other peace because it will then come back. Peace knows that it will come back to disrupt its own peace. And so my phone just said something. But so I think that it is possible, based on my understanding of what I determine to be my own peace. It doesn't want to disrupt other people's peace because it knows that that will come back to disrupt its own peace. It doesn't make sense to disrupt other people's peace. And if I'm coming from a standpoint of what's good, it's something that I want to keep and I would like to share, because goodness feels good. When you're at peace, it's easy to give goodness a hug and know that it's good. I don't know how to explain that, but it's the world. I don't think, when you're not at peace, and people, when I wasn't at peace and I was more focused on what the world thought about me and what the world's definition of what good and bad and successful and valuable or worthy is, I was more prone to do things like that. When where I am now is different, I feel like I'm at peace and understand peace to be in me and not to do with anything anyone else does. I understand that no matter what I do, most of the people on the planet won't agree with it. There's never going to be a different time for that. That's why everyone has to have their own individual peace, which includes the people around them being at peace, so I won't disrupt their peace by doing something that's obviously disrupt peace. It would obviously disrupt my peace. And so part of being at peace is understanding other people's perspective and putting your foot in their shoe for a minute before you react to what action was put in your peace that you were shook, were startled by, or whatever disrupted your peace. And so you have that choice to react. It's not an easy choice all the time. Somebody slaps you, you might be like, "Boosh! Too bad. I'm sorry. Fucking peace didn't come in and slow my fist down before my reaction happened." And you shouldn't be slapping people, so, because you never know what's going to happen. And so something else I was going to say about attaining peace that I think is important. There's the steps that I think equal peace, and I think it kind of you. I think I can lay it out. Well, I feel like it makes sense when I explain it this way. that I'm about to explain is that it involves something that I've heard, and I believe everyone's heard, body, mind, spirit, as being the three, like, somethings about something being important, right? Whatever the fuck it is. So I feel like I kind of understand why that makes sense in attaining peace. And this is what I think, is that it starts with body because that's our most easily accessible one of those three things. We can, it's here, right? Body, got to take care of it. So it's important to have healthy body, strong body comes from healthy food, exercise, not sitting in a chair. I have a video called diet. I have a video called exercise. Basically what they say, eat foods that grow out of the earth. Don't eat shit with a bunch of ingredients that you don't know what they are. Try to eat foods that are single ingredient, like a banana. One ingredient, it's a banana. Okay? Never drink soda. Never drink supplement drinks, energy. Never eat energy bars unless you're, hiking, whatever. There's a little bit of flex on some of this shit, and I'm sure they make some stuff. But for the 99.9% of the time, that's it. Same thing with candy in a wrapper. Never. Simple stuff, dude. It's just that we get inundated with, oh yeah, this is good shit. I was fucking, it's great. No, it's not. It's full of fucking shit. You don't even know what the fuck those ingredients are added onto that cornflake. Anyways, body is very important because body, one of our body parts, is a brain. And so to keep your body healthy is important because it holds your brain. And your brain is the vehicle that allows you to drive your mind or experience your mind. Without a healthy brain, your mind is not healthy. Your vehicle is fucked up. It has three wheels and two of them are flat, no gas. Somebody poured sand in the oil. Like, things not gonna go anywhere, dude. And if it goes somewhere, it's in some fucked up place. It's not going very far or deep if it's a submarine. Okay? So your body has to be healthy in order for your mind to also be healthy. And the point of having a healthy mind is because we want to be able to understand our spirit. We have a body that's easy to see and understand, kind of. Okay? We can cut it and it bleeds. We know that, right? Watch. Okay, so it's here. It's easy to access. It holds a brain that's not so easy to access, but we're using it all the time. So it's easy to use and access that way for its function. It's not we're touching it though. And so then your mind is also something that you have full access to all the time through your brain. But without a healthy body to maintain that healthy brain, to drive or to maintain that healthy body, which includes the brain, to maintain your healthy mind, you're not going to be able to get to where your spirit is to understand it, because your spirit's not this, like, you can't just go knock on the next door neighbor and be like, hey dude, so what's up with the spirit? We don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness, okay, or whatever, whoever knocks on doors, okay. It's not that easy, man. But I think our mission in life or whatever, that we think that, or I think that we are on cruise control to understand our spirit. And what is our spirit? I kind of defined our spirit as this. Our spirit is what happens to us after we die, right? Our spirit is the thing that we feel like has to continue after our body dies, which holds our brain and drives our mind, which is kind of attached to our body, or it requires our body to use our brain to use our mind. But the spirit isn't necessarily dependent upon those two things to survive. It's its own thing. And that's almost like what we're trying to become, or what we will become when we pass the body portion of this. Okay? Oh, I just thought of something. Fucking mind is blowing all over the place today, dude. Okay, I'm gonna say it before I forget it. I'm gonna get all lost right now. Fucking need a pencil, dude. But I just thought about this. Is super crazy. I'm gonna just say it and then remind me. I'm talking about the shift to the after in the next ring. But I want to finish what I was saying. Right now, where we are now in our body, mind, spirit, in our mind, we have a body, and if we've accessed a healthy mind, maintained healthy body, and we are accessing our healthy mind, and we can locate or understand what our spirit might be, the spirit is that sense or that feeling that, so we know time is going to continue after we die. So we know that. We think we do anyways. We feel like that's the case. Time's going to go forever. We're going to be here and we're going to die. Our body's going to die, but it feels like we're still going to be in some way, shape, or form experiencing that time that continues on. And that's kind of like where our spirit comes in. It's like, dude, that's our fucking spirit. That thing that goes along after our body portion dies and drops off. And this is where I came up with the new thing, dude. So if the body portion is now gone, we're left with two rings, which is mind and spirit. But if this body portion is gone, the mind portion goes with it. And then the spirit portion moves over to this next thing that's going to happen in time, wherever we are in that. That's potentially us in the spirit form. But if we move that back over here to the present of time that spirit form is now in, and make that our slice of presence, like our first slice of presence was mother. We were in the womb, in our mother's body. That was our entire universe. If mom dies, we're dead. Then we move into life, and we're on earth. We have body, mind, spirit. And if the earth blows up, or our city, or whatever catastrophe type shit happens, and that world ends, we're done. But that contains us, that world. Once that's over, we're now in this other section. Yes, the last time we were talking about when one thing ends, or one life ends, like your womb life ends, your earth life begins. And so now when your earth life, or your body mind life ends, your spirit life begins. And so my crazy thought that I was thinking about is that at first I was thinking that when we move over to the spirit side, I pictured kind of like a line in the sand. Like, here's your womb life, there's a line. And then we come into the life, and we got a line at the beginning and a line at the end. And then when we pass that line, we're into the spirit life. But when we pass into that, the body ring disappears. And in my head, I was thinking, okay, we still have the mind and the spirit. Maybe there's a new third ring to complete the circle, or whatever, the triangle. But as I talked it out, I'm kind of thinking that the mind portion would also disappear, and we'd be left with one ring, or one. I picture rings because I had this meditative experience. It was super fucking powerful, dude. I had these 3 rings that I just fucking experienced. I don't know how to explain it. Watch the video. My journey to universal connection. It's fucking crazy shit that happened. So now it's in my head and I can't let it go. I'm riding that horse because it still feels like it's going somewhere. But the 3 ring thing. So if that ring, or that, body, mind, spirit, it was the. Okay, it says one of our viewers here says, all right, the spirit remains, but if the mind goes away, all the knowledge and experience goes with it, right? Ooh, good point. Knowledge and experience transfer to the spirit could be the idea. Maybe that's the whole point. Or maybe the combination of the body and mind understanding the spirit is what's required to unlock the spirit from this life. Because I have this other theory about how it's kind of the okay, he's rephrasing. He says the question is, does the experience change the spirit? I don't think so. I'm not God, okay, so I can't say yes or no. I can't give a definitive answer, okay. But in this belief or theory or train that I'm riding right now, the first thing that comes out of my mind is no. And I'm going to say the first thing that comes out of my mind because oftentimes that triggers the next thing that comes out of my mind. But so the first thing that comes out of my mind is that no, the experience does not change the spirit. I think the spirit is what the spirit is. We don't know what it is, but we're trying to understand it. And so we're using the body to strengthen and or to be strong and use the mind, access and the strengths and the abilities of the mind that are there to understand the spirit. And until we understand it, a lot like this, ooh, okay, you see, second thought, ooh. So, like this, if we understand the spirit, we're not scared of it. Like, like, so check this out. He said, ooh. So, or maybe he said, oh, all right. But, so if we understand the spirit, because I think fear potentially might be keeping us from understanding the spirit or keeping us from moving past this life, potentially, in a theory. And this is what I mean by that. If we understand, so we have to have a healthy body to drive a healthy mind so that we can understand or utilize a healthy mind so that we can understand what a spirit is, means, what it is. We understand it. And then once we understand it, it's not scary anymore. Once it's not scary, we can ride it. And so maybe when we die, we have that kind of a choice almost, where, or a qualifier maybe on the other side of that. Maybe it's a choice once we get there. It's like, oh, fuck that. I'm going back and I'm starting over in life. I do not want to get into this. That's still scary. Or maybe you get there and you have this choice and you're like, oh, yes, this is what I thought it was going to be. I understand that. I'm going to ride it. I'm not afraid of this. And then you choose after you're dead to go where you want. Or maybe it's a qualifier. And when you get there, maybe there's like, not like a test, but maybe it's a test, judgment, or like a key or something. And then you get there and it's like, all right, can you pass the test? Or does your key fit per your understanding of the spirit? And if it does, then you can get into the gates of heaven. Holy shit. Probably where they come up with this shit, dude. These stories. They match up. Like hypothetical stuff. And the thing is interesting about that, I'm rambling this shit on. I didn't have a plan to come to some outside description of pearly gates, but the thought of us all drawing from a same pool of thought, and it really interests me when I come up with something or I think of a thought and I've never heard of it or seen anybody say it or whatever, and then I'll say it and I'll hear somebody else be like, oh yeah, that's just like this other guy who said it. Oh, this other dude who says that all the time, or this fucking philosopher from fucking 2 million years ago. It's like, dude, how the fuck does that happen? I've never met any of these people. They don't even have a YouTube channel or some shit. I don't know how these people find the information. But I'm not listening to stuff out there. So how the fuck did I think of the same thing this other person did? That's weird. That's a trip, dude. It's almost like we're all writing with a pen that has the same ink. We just have a choice of how it comes out or something. Something like that. But I think that the healthy body enables the healthy mind, which makes it capable of understanding the spirit, which I think in this train that we're on now would be the key or the comfortableness, the contention that you have with it, or it's a qualifier potentially to get in. Similar to another theory I had where it's like this is the incubator, we're in the womb of mother at birth, and then we come into the womb of life, and experience body and mind, and then we're born out of life into the whatever the fuck of the spirit. And so, I just dropped my banana. Uh, it's okay. It's landed on the carpet, but little dog hairs and who knows what kind of linty shit is there. Even though my wife vacuums like 3 times a day. So, um, I don't know what I was talking about. The spirit, mind, blah, 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 blah. So, anyways, I think we kind of talked that in a circle. The spirit mind thing is, to me, what a train I'm on right now. It's how I'm living my entire life. I have lived the healthy living, and I kind of just stumbled into this channel. Okay, let me see. Viewer has this thing. It says, I was going towards the idea of the mind is reading the spirit so it understands it in a way that the flow and, I'd say, preferences would be same. Okay, the mind is reading the spirit so it understands it. Okay, understand. I'm picking that up. That's kind of what I'm getting at too. And versus reading it, it's more like, I guess, reading it, trying to understand it. So experiencing it or trying to reach it or something like that is what it feels like for me. And then it says, in a way that the flow, and I'd say preferences, would be same. Okay, so maybe he's saying that um, your flow that we were talking about earlier, if you have a signature of flow, and then your preferences in life based on the experiences you've had in life, which kind of mold you into what your view is of life at any one given time, and then you can alter that accordingly or filter through it or let it settle and do it how you will. You have free will, right? So yeah, I think that's along the lines of the same thing that I was talking about. But I think the spirit thing is just something that we don't really have full, comfortable understanding about like we do, like we have with our body. Not that we have 100% understanding of everything about our body. We don't even know how an eyeball works, but it is something that we have a more comfortable understanding and access to test and do scientific experiments and find out how consistent things are, where spirit is more like I can say some shit and people will be like, oh fuck, you're nuts, eat a mushroom, dude, you know. So it's like you can't prove it, you know. It's more like a belief or an understanding is how I say it. I don't want to just believe, I want to understand. And so I think we have built into us to, you know, fight or flight versus figure it out and do what we think's right. You know, it's like depending on the situation, you have to choose one of those one of those things, and then choose a choice from there, a stance from there. It's like instinct, fight or flight, punch, run, or well, let me figure it out. What did you say? Did you throw that rock at me on purpose? So after the mind and body leaves, the spirit is the one that contains the core of the preferences. Okay, it just needs mind to unlock them. Boost! I like that shit, dude. So, that's fucking pretty deep. I like it. Let me see. So after the mind and the body leave, done. We die, right? Mind. The body leaves for sure. The mind is going to go with it, I think, on what train we were talking about. So that leaves the spirit, right, right, right. And then the spirit has almost like yeah, is the signature. Fucking awesome, bro. Dude, that was deep. I want to say your name, but I'm not gonna. That was fucking sweet. I like that. So he said, so the spirit is the signature. You do know, bro. That was fucking awesome, dude. That was super fucking awesome. So after the spirit leaves, what this dude's saying is that after, you know, so we're here, we live, and we're using our body to access our mind and understand our spirit, and that almost like our body is the light, Our mind is this filter, and what shines through reflects onto our spirit and acts as a fingerprint or signature that we take with us into the God. I'm finishing this for you on something that I already thought of, that takes us into the God that is in requirement of uniqueness, which you now are, to fit into the space that was empty to keep God whole. 3 mind blows in 1 fucking hour. We're almost out of time, and I didn't even make it to the next subject. Dude, that was fucking awesome, bro. Thank you for saying that. That was fucking perfect. Different variation of what the fuck I was saying. And it doesn't, because it doesn't disqualify either one. It's just an addition to potential. It adds another sliver of maybe on this end of the spectrum that started from this, which is super cool, dude. It actually changed it a little bit from the beginning, as the body now has a different, almost like a different responsibility in the big picture. So if you prefer to ever say my name, okay. Usually Dead King is all right. I don't mind. Okay, cool, sweet. Boom, Dead King said it, dude. Right on, Dead King. That was freaking super deep. I'm glad you were paying attention, or you have a mind of your own to figure those things out. And you are paying attention already before you even got here. That's super badass, dude. I really like that. I'm going to think about that too, some more, about how that fits into other alterations, because a lot of times, if you add a little drop of green, it's cool to add some yellow to it to see what happens, or maybe if I put a drop of blue in there and see what color I get too. So I'm going to add that to the color palette of my fucking imagination, dude. Thank you, Dead King. That was fucking badass, dude. I really like that, because then that's what we're in we are the locksmith. It's like our body still needs to be healthy to drive that mind, which now the mind, I guess, is it kind of turns into the locksmith, the the uniqueness creator of what we need to be. The key and the lock. Yeah, dude, that's so fucking awesome, dude. I really like that. I really like that angle on it. I'm gonna totally think that out, dude. It's already starting to stir up more angles on the final outcome, or the final purpose, or whatever, because it might change what I think about the spirit's final purpose or whatever. Because of this, it almost made the mind more important. It kind of, that thought pattern gave the mind a little bit more, or a little bit different responsibility than just understanding the spirit like it's a book that's written and you need to figure it out. It's almost like it's a lock, like you said, and you're making the key that fits that lock, instead of trying to determine how big the lock is and the shape and all that shit. So it's a fucking super cool sliver, dude. I love that shit. I fucking thank you, dude. You added a piece to you gave me a new color. So boom, I'm gonna try and give you some sort of fucking good energy back at you, and you're gonna get another kick-ass thought for that, dude, or something, dude. Something good will happen to you for that. And probably what it is just you being awesome, like you already probably are. So, okay, so peace. And I had one other thing. Okay, quick thought on this. I got 5 minutes or something. So I was thinking about another biblical, this turned on from something biblical, is that somewhere in the Bible it says that the first will be last and the last will be first. And so I think it was the other day we did a live stream. I was talking about how you're happy with what you have, based on you wouldn't trade with somebody in the world randomly. So if you wouldn't trade with somebody randomly, you're happy enough at least with what you have. And most people, anyone I've asked so far, even if I offered you $1 million to trade, if you would trade and once you get there, you get $1 million plus whatever new life and identity you have, people still wouldn't trade. And so I even have asked homeless people while they're sleeping in a dumpster in the fucking rain, and they said no. So I'm pretty sure most people are happy with what they have. So what I came out of that with is that maybe we chose this life ahead of time. And so maybe we're here in the spirit world and we're like, oh, look at all these options through time and everything. You can choose your slot of time, your slot of human, any person, and there's like just fucking endless avatars that you get to choose from. And they all have little quirks about them. Like I have mine and you have yours and everyone has their own. And as a spirit, you can kind of read through that a little easier than our stupid little human mind would be able to do it. It's more like looking at a comic book for them and they're just like, look through all these possibilities. Like, I want to try this one. I think I can solve this riddle or whatever with this one. And so the thought is on the, less is, the first, last, first thing is that maybe if we choose, there's also a reward potential attached to it. Kind of like if you choose this easy path, it's going to be easy to get through life. You're going to have very little problems. You're on a silver platter. Your parents are practically gods anyways. They already know all the answers that we're teaching up here. It's going to be a straight shot right to back here to heaven and whatever, and you're going to be easy peasy, but you're only going to get a little bit of reward for it. You get one XP. But if you're, that person, you get a small reward. But if you choose this guy who's born with this problems and in a bad situation and whatever kind of fucked up thing, right? The worst situation you could think of, if you make it through that life, regardless of how you do it, you just got to get through. Then you get this giant fucking reward. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's like, okay, you get to choose because we're kind of happy with what we have, as if we knew this is what we were going to get. It's like, yeah, I want to order that cheeseburger with this, that, no pickles, and extra onion, right? And then you get it. You're like, yeah, this is what I asked for. Okay? You're just going to eat through it because you're content-ish with it because that's what you ordered. And so you kind of anticipated your cheeseburger to taste like this, and that's what it tastes like, so you're kind of happy. And you don't want to trade your cheeseburger, how you ordered it, for that other one that this other guy ordered. You don't even know if it's actually a cheeseburger. It might be fucking full of peanuts, and you're allergic to peanuts. So that's why we wouldn't trade, because we know what we ordered, and we're happy with that. And we're also happy with the reward that we accepted this for in order to achieve or get. And so we don't want to fuck that up, because maybe what we're going to get out of successfully making it through this life that we chose is something that we need or want in that other life that we started in. And so this could be a life of necessity in order to keep comfort or whatever in that other beginning place that we started in. We'll be back to when we're done. I thought that was pretty maybe-ish. That seems like it feels possible. Like fucking we're happy-ish with this, almost like we ordered it and we're eating a sandwich like we wanted to get, or we accepted a job that we knew we were going to have to do just like this so that we could get that reward that we agreed to. We agreed to work for this much money. That's kind of what it feels like. And it's the same feeling no matter what the variation of your circumstance is, all the way down to a fucking 3 people living in 2 separate enclosures, 2 in one and 1 in another, homeless people in the fucking rain. I'm not kidding you, dude. They have their little thing closed. It's on my other channel. You can see these people. I didn't get that question part in the videos, but it was fucking raining. You know what I'm saying? And then when I got there, I had to ask them the question because it was what I do. Anyways, I'm pretty sure everyone's happy. It feels like we ordered it like a sandwich or something. We knew the toppings and everything. We wanted that pizza. So here you are with your dirty honey pizza. You're like, all right, fuck, sweet. This is what I ordered. I'm happy. I'm not arguing with it. I hope I didn't bite off more than I can chew, and I'm not there yet. I haven't got to that bite. Like, oh yeah, I remember they put a fucking cockroach at the end of this thing. I really don't want to get there, you know. So maybe the midlife crisis thing is a preset ish type thing because of something that we know might be coming in our ordered sandwich, you know, at the end of the eating portion of it. Or maybe it's a standard from that standpoint for the whatever you order to get more difficult as time goes on or some shit. I don't know anyways, but I'm out of time. I thought that was a kind of an interesting view on something that's in the Bible that might ring true in other kinds of tones or whatever. And because I think the Bible is full of really cool insight, and humans throughout time, all the spirituality books probably have really good insight, just misused by the world and man and their confused vision from the inside of a dirty fish tank or whatever. That's what I think. That's what I feel like's happening. But I don't know anything. I'm stupid. Dirty Honey's dumb. Don't listen to me. Just watch and subscribe. Like the video and tell a friend. All right? Remember to be nice. That's key. Everything I talk about, it's always about being nice. Fucking be nice, dude. Listen to 91.5 FM on the radio, KUSC.org on the internet, because that fucking station rocks. It's the best music in the planet ever. Always will be. That music will never be. Never say never, I'm saying never. The music played on 91.5 will remain the best music on the planet for all of time. Can't beat that. Check it out if you haven't. You're missing out on that. Okay. Get a clue. And like, subscribe, tell a friend, all the other stuff. Tell a friend. That's the new mission. Okay. Gotta tell a friend to fucking watch a video and subscribe regardless. Just do it. All right. That's the fee. So, all right, man, it was good. Thanks, Dead King. That was badass. Your comment is super awesome. I'm probably going to have something to say about it tomorrow or the next time I do lunch. And hopefully I see you there and we'll talk about it again. So keep your mind running. See if you got anything else to throw into the plate. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Yeah, you have a good day too, Dead King. Thanks for sharing. Take it easy.